let's review 40 Acres, but, 40 Acres, a thriller, because we need to make sure that you know this is going to get your adrenaline super up. A thriller by Dwayne Alexander Smith. Also people that use their entire names, like, as an author, like, why? Okay, so I was told that this was going to be, like, edge of your pants, edge of your seat, edge of your pants?
Edge of your pants.
Edge of your pants!
Oh.
Amazing. Okay, and the reason that I even read this in the first place, to be honest with you, is because I heard the words thriller. I love thrillers. And the thriller. And then also the fact that it was written by a black man, because there are honestly not that many books talked about written by black men. Sorry. It's just the truth of the fact. And so I was super disappointed. I mean, it got off to like a good start, I guess. The first 1/3 of the book is just setting up the premise. So you get to know this lawyer, Martin, running a law firm. He beats this super popular other law firm in some kind of racially, I don't know, just racial case where there was a case of like possible racial discrimination, but he ends up winning. He ends up befriending his opponent, who's super rich and keeps inviting him to places. So he gets invited to his mansion, these parties, and he also honestly gets hooked up with like this sort of group of elite black men, I guess, or like entrepreneurs and just people that are doing really well for themselves. So he gets linked up with them and kind of gets into their, I don't want to call it a club, like, not club because that's too trite, but like sort of society, elite society, you know. He ends up going on this fucking, like, he thinks it's a fucking rafting trip with them. And his wife really doesn't want him to go because she fucking looks up about the group that he's hanging out with and finds out that on their last rafting trip, one of the new guys that they invited died. So she's like, fuck, I really don't want you to go on this trip. Please don't go on this trip, blah, blah. He's like, I need to get in good with these guys. No, I'm going to go. Blah, blah. You know, so they're like fighting about that. And he ends up going on the trip. And this is when the bomb drops, is about halfway through the book. On the plane, he notices that the sun is, like, in the wrong side or direction or something. So he's like, I don't think we're really going there. And they all just kind of laugh at him. But he gets drugged, and then he wakes up on, like, this giant sort of plantation, and then is super confused why, like, everyone there is white. And is like waiting on him and shit, and when he's nice to them, they like all the other dudes that he's with like bite his head off about it. He's like, what's going on here? I'm like, dude, you know what's going on here. It's like a reverse plantation where like the white people are the slaves. Like, it's so obvious. It's so like corny. Like, why do we have to go there? But I was also thinking, you know, okay, it's written by a black man. It's gonna get better. I don't know why we had to go here, but we went here. And so it's gonna be okay. Because it wasn't written by a white person. Spoiler alert, he blows up the plantation. Like, duh. Like, what other ending was there to that? Like, basically, he kind of says, oh, this revenge mindset is wrong. And I mean, yeah, it is kind of wrong, I guess, to want revenge, like active revenge. Like, there's a difference between being like, you know, white people did something wrong, I'm not overly fond of white people, and then being like, I'm opening a plantation where all the slaves wait on me hand and foot and they're all white and I kidnapped them from their rich families, and also, oh yeah, we like rape the girls at night. What the fuck? Awful. Like, okay, this concept, even like as a concept, should have just stopped at a concept. And even as a concept, I'm just kind of like, yikes. I don't know what the point of bringing back the whole plantation thing is. And it's basically, I don't this elite group is kind of like a cult. Like, I guess I would say cult because they have like a leader who's vaguely religious and spiritual and basically says that the only way for the black man to take back his power is by inflicting that same, you know, pain on white people. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just like kind of like psycho, but it's like so psycho that it's kind of not believable at all, because like who would do this? No one would do this. I hope. No one would do this. No one would do this. And I don't think for 1 second that like white people are blameless because it happened so long ago. I don't. But I also don't think they need to be on a fucking plantation, like getting whipped and shit. It's literally like Martin was like fucking Black Panther, and then the rest of the group was like the Killmonger. Like ideologically, that was basically what it was. Most of the group was like, we need to get revenge. We need to actively take back what's ours, our power, whatever. And then the other person being like, this is not the way that you solve problems. Or like, if you want to go even further back than that, I guess like Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X in a way, or something. So I guess it's like, I don't know, like classic argument. But like, why did this book need to be written? I don't understand what it did. I don't understand what was different. What was new about that? Like, what was the revelation there? There was not one. Like, I just didn't feel like there was a point.
Maybe he did it to piss off white people.
I mean, maybe, but honestly, are white people even picking up a book by a black man in the first place?
Probably not.
No. I mean, if it was written for other black people, it's like, we know this shit.
That's true.
You know? I definitely understand the other side that, like, you know, is fucking pissed off and wants to fucking do something about it, but it's like, that's not how the civilized world works. And if you do that, you're just playing into the stereotype that you are a violent, angry, senseless, can't reason, you're not logical, animalistic type of person. And if you play into that stereotype, then people can write you off. You gotta basically like prove people wrong in a way. That's just what I think. This author has like an obsession with cars. I swear to God, the beginning of every first chapter. Okay, I'm just gonna read just the first sentences that I'm just randomly flipping to. As Martin stepped out of the town car, seated in his parked Camry, staring across the street, and then we'll see what else we got. It's literally like every other chapter. He specifically needs to say like what car they're driving, and like, oh, here we go. A Gulfstream G200 executive jet sliced across the crisp blue heavens. Like, oh my God, we get it. You like cars, you like planes, you like vehicles, you know exactly what make they are. You need to include that. It's very specific and it's very important. It's like, you could have just said a Jeep. I did appreciate the super short chapters because, like, if you have no attention span, definitely read this book. But there was nothing fucking thrilling about it. It was very predictable. So that's definitely a nay. That is a fucking nay. No, no, no. Stop what you're doing, Dwayne Alexander Smith. I really wanted to like this book. Just for the simple fact of, I don't know, probably most of the books I read are by like old white dudes. For the simple fact of that, I wanted to like it. But I cannot fucking tell a lie. Like, this shit was bad. Avoid. Just because something is by a black author doesn't mean it's gonna fucking be good. Like, I'm sure there are other books out there. I'm gonna find them. But fuck this shit. Fuck every acre